James Huffines appears to be the typical executive arriving at work at Plains Capital Bank in Dallas. But he isn't typical in any other way. This dynamic leader has earned a lifetime of impressive achievements in finance, politics, and higher education advocacy. Born in Dallas in 1951, James Huffines grew up in Greenville, Texas. He and his brothers were always up to something.
I have very fond memories of my father coming home from work, and he would come home 2 times a week and put boxing gloves on all of us and let us wear ourselves out.
When he wasn't punching his brothers, he was at work.
In high school, I did everything from sack groceries to pump gas in gas stations to drive a tractor all summer.
That work ethic helped James excel academically. In high school, a youth and government program ignited his interest in state politics.
We would actually come to the Capitol. We would sit in the Senate chamber and the House, and we would write bills and debate them. And it was a great experience, exposure to how the legislative process works.
Decades later, James would return to the Capitol as an assistant to the governor. But first he headed to UT and the School of Business.
It was a tumultuous time. It was in the early 70s, and frequently we had protests and riots on the campus. There were tear gas floating around the campus and tear gas wars.
James was one of those students who knew exactly what he wanted to do with his career.
One of my first jobs in high school was being a teller at a bank. I always knew that I wanted to go into banking. I love business, I love finance.
After graduation, James thrived in the executive training program at Republic National Bank. That first job still benefits him today.
Being a trainee at Republic National Bank is a fabulous experience. You're exposed to so many different types of businesses and so many individuals. I learned a lot.
After 13 years in banking in Dallas, James made a big change. He returned to the state capitol to work as Governor Bill Clements' appointment secretary.
Governor Clements was elected in 1986. I had helped him in his 78 and 82 campaigns as a volunteer. And he, one night, pulled me aside and twisted my arm to make a transition down to Austin to come help him in a senior way. And at the time, I thought it sounded exciting.
Working for the governor inspired James's interest in higher education advocacy. Governor Rick Perry appointed him to serve on the UT Board of Regents from 2003 to 2010. He also served as chairman.
We had a lot of issues to deal with. We addressed graduation rates, we addressed strategic planning, really setting ourselves up to be more competitive on a national basis, international basis. We created a lot of grants for recruiting top professors at all of our campuses.
James has 3 children, Victoria, Cameron, and Ash.
My proudest accomplishment in life is my role as a father and a husband.
He's also nurtured a love for travel and mountain climbing. His wife Patty is mostly supportive of this hobby, within reason.
Took my wife to Mount Everest, and it was the first time she had ever been in a tent in her life, and we spent 14 days in a tent, and that's the last time she's been in a tent.
Tonight we honor a Texas Exes life member who climbs every mountain he meets.
As I look back, all of the experiences in my life, whether it was in high school, at the Capitol, or I realized that all of my previous experiences helped prepare me for what I'm doing now.
James Huffines, a distinguished alumnus of the University of Texas at Austin.